Yo, what's up everybody? It's Molly here. Today's video, I'm going to be telling a story. The story I'm going to be telling is the time that I met and saw Joe Gatto from Impractical Jokers. I am a big fan of Impractical Jokers, by the way. I've been watching the show for a very long time, since I was a teenager, and this was a dream come true. I had no idea that one day I would actually see any of them live, but this night was so special for me, and I'm gonna tell you why. I met Joe on November 4th, 2022. I'm going to include pictures at the end of the video of different moments of the night, so yeah. The tickets were beginning to sell out on July 15th, which is a couple days after my birthday, and when I heard that he was gonna go on tour and go to different cities, I was really hoping that he would come to my city, and when I saw that he was, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to go. Like, I've never seen any of them live. I bet they're gonna be so amazing live. Let's do it. So I went on the website, I got a ticket, and I also got meet and greet because it's once in a lifetime. I love to be a little bit spontaneous and adventurous, and so I was like, let me just give it that shot. And I don't regret it at all. And in a way, I went to the show, in honor of my 21st birthday, and that's probably one of the best birthday gifts I've ever, done. And, I gave it to myself. This was the first ever show that I attended by myself, because I've been to quite a few concerts in my life, but I normally have gone with, my parents or, a friend of mine. But this was the first ever show I went to alone, because I didn't have anybody close to me who wanted to go or could even make it. So I was like, let me just go by myself. Let me just explore, just be an adult. I can navigate pretty well. What do I have to be afraid of? I've never really even been to a comedy show in my life either. So Joe Gatto was the first ever one. So thank you if you do see this video. Leading up to the show, I was nervous, obviously, because I was going to be alone, but I was mostly excited. But of course, I was hoping that nothing would happen to get it canceled, because we're obviously living in COVID times, and at the same time, you just hope that, the person you're seeing is in good health, and you hope that you'll be in good health the same day. So I was like, God, please, I really want to see him. So I'm really glad that it all worked out. So my parents took me to where the show was going to be, and I go in, I get my tickets scanned, and I go up to where they're selling shirts, and I got myself a t-shirt. So the show was at a small theater, so I sat in the upper area, but the bottom row in it. So I had a perfect 12 o'clock view when seeing him, which was absolutely perfect. So Joe had 3 openers. One of them, the guy's name was Scott Sheese. I believe he's an actor as well. I don't really know him too well, but he was pretty funny, and I think that he's from my city as well. Another person that opened up was Jiggy. He's been on Impractical Jokers a few times before. He's opened up for the guys a good amount of times. He's a good friend of theirs. And then also Steve Byrne opened up, who does the Two Cool Moms podcast with Joe. They were all very funny. I really enjoyed them. They definitely got the energy up, and it made the anticipation increase so much prior to Joe coming out on stage. Joe comes out on stage, there's this spotlight on him, there's this cool song playing, and he walks across the stage, waving to everybody, high-fiving some people. He's really excited to see us, and I start crying. Listen, people, I am emotional. I cry at everything, and I was just completely starstruck. That man is in my vision, people. He's not on a screen, he's in my vision. But eventually I got myself together and the show went on. I'm not gonna go into what he joked about, mainly because number 1, I'm probably gonna butcher. Number 2, in case if any of you guys are gonna see him on tour, I don't want to spoil anything, but I'll just give the basics of what some of the things he joked about. He talked about his family, he talked about the guys, the show, and other little anecdotes, but they were absolutely hysterical, and I was laughing the entire time. My cheeks were hurting, my stomach was hurting, I was clapping my hands a lot, but the show was amazing. It was so much fun. And then here it comes to an even greater part. So when the show was over, I went downstairs in the lobby area and I walked through the doors of the lower area of the theater and got in line to meet him. It was a pretty long line, but I didn't really wait for that long. It was probably, I would say I was in that line for about half hour. So it wasn't that crazy. But at one point when I was waiting in line, Steve Byrne like was walking at one point. I don't really know what he was doing, but I saw him, and me being the cheerful person I am, I waved to him and I say, "Hi Steve, you did so great." And he comes up to me. He like puts his hand out and I'm like, okay. So I give him my hand and he like holds it close to him and he like kneels down, like kind of like bows at me and then puts my hand to his head and he kind of goes like, or whatever. And I was like, what the heck? But it was so cool. And like the person who was standing behind me, I was like, you saw that, you witnessed that. But that was pretty weird, but that was just so awesome. I was like, what the heck? I was too starstruck to get a picture with him, but that was amazing. And I thank Steve for that. So the line keeps going, and what's cool is as the line is going, it forms on the actual stage where Joe performed. So I got to be on the actual stage of the theater. I looked out and I was like, oh my, like this is what it feels like to be a star? Like all those seats and like the lighting and everything, like it was so magnificent. Oh my goodness. And here's something kind of wacky. So something that I've wanted to do in general is kiss a celebrity that I love. And I have never done it before in my life. And when I knew that I was gonna meet Joe, I thought in my head, maybe I could kiss him for a picture. I mean, you know, just as long as I'm polite and not harmful about it. I thought about it for a while and I knew that I wanted to do it, but I felt nervous because obviously I don't want to make it seem awkward, but also, you know, we're living in COVID times, so I wouldn't want him to feel pressured. So as I was in line, my legs were shaking, my heart was pounding. I was like, oh my God, like I was thinking about what I wanted to say to him, and I just couldn't fathom that for the rest of my life I get to tell people that I met Joe Gatto from Impractical Jokers. So kind of toward the end, when I was about to, you know, go and meet him, because he was behind one of the big curtains on stage, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna ask him if I can kiss him for a picture. Like, this is only happening once. This is not gonna happen again. Like, I'm pretty sure that he'll be okay with it, because knowing him from the show, he'll pretty much do anything in a heartbeat with no embarrassing bone. So I figured that I would go for it no matter what. I'm not gonna miss a chance. So eventually the time comes, I turn the corner and I see him standing right there, and like I cover my mouth and I'm like, oh my God, whatever, and I'm walking toward him slowly. I don't know verbatim of what he said because I was so in my head, but he was like, hi, how are you? And I give him a big hug. I say, I'm doing good, you did so good. And he was like, oh, thank you for coming out. He gives the best hugs, by the way. Oh my goodness. So then we take a few pictures together, and that was when I wanted to ask him about kissing him for a photo. So I go, I have an awkward question for you. And he goes, ask me. And I'm like, can I kiss you for a picture? Exactly like that. And he was like, sure, absolutely. I'm like, okay. Like, no hesitation. It's like, you don't even know me. You don't know where I've been, but you know, I love that you're so into it. So then it happens. And like, as I'm doing it, like in my head, I'm like, is this illegal? Is this illegal? I'm a good person. I'm a rule follower. I care about other people's feelings to the best of my ability. But it was one of my proudest accomplishments, and his face is also very soft, if I can just say so myself. By the way, before kissing him, he held his arm out for me to do it, and he goes, come here, baby. He did not just say that to me. Man, did my stomach go woof. It was pretty wild. But it was so cool. I couldn't believe that I did that, and I couldn't wait to tell my friends and my family. And then I have a gift for him because I know that he is against bullying and wants everybody to be kind to each other. So the shirt that I was wearing was actually a Cimarelli merch piece that says "You're worth it." I'm a big fan of Cimarelli, in case you wanted to know. So I wanted to give him his own shirt because I figured that he would appreciate it, and it's my way of saying, you know, thank you for coming here. I'm glad I got to meet you. So I get the gift bag and I give it to him. I tell him what it is after showing him my shirt. He was so grateful for it, and I told him, I'm proud of you. I know you've been through a lot, but I'm always going to support you. I want you to know you're worth it. And he was like, thank you so much, Molly. That warms my heart. And I'm like, of course, no problem. And I do hug him a couple more times, and then eventually I make myself go because, you know, he has to get to the other fans. But overall, Joe was so gentle, so kind. He was funny, he was happy, and I feel so honored to have had that experience. So as I'm making my way out, Jiggy is right there because he was selling his, like, elephant hats that he has. And I go up to him, I give him a hug, I say that he did a great job and he should keep doing what he's doing, and I took a selfie with him. He really appreciated my kind words. It was really awesome. And then I make my way out, and I'm seeing the other people stand in line, and they're kind of looking at me because I feel like when you're doing something exciting, people are always like, you know, how was it, or what happened, or whatever. So people were staring at me as I was walking, and I literally went, I kissed him, and then I made my way out the door. I was so, like, proud of myself, but I was also like, what did I just do? Then my dad picks me up and I go home and I start crying in the car because I am so happy that I got to come, but I was so happy to meet him because he was absolutely charming and so sweet. And I want to show my dad the picture immediately because knowing my dad, I feel like he would be like, what did you do? So before showing him, I go, I got consent. I'm a good girl. I asked first, but I kissed him for a picture. And my dad was like, that's so awesome. And then I go home, I tell my other family members about it, and I tell my friends about it, especially those who are also fans of Impractical Jokers, and they lose their minds. They're like, you did not kiss him. I'm like, yes, I did. And then that night, I posted the pictures from that event on my social media pages. And the next morning, I wake up to him liking my picture and commenting on it. So I have more than one Instagram page, and he commented on my fan page, and I captioned it with "swipe to see me kiss a joker," and I wrote another thing underneath it, but he commented smooches. Oh my god! It was really pleasant. Overall, it was one of the greatest nights of my life. It was much needed. And by the way, guys, I recommend you go see him. He is talented, he is hysterical, and he's such a loving person, and I will always support him no matter if he's on the show or not. He does have social media and stuff for you to access his touring, so I would recommend doing that. And I recommend meeting him. He is the best. But yeah, that's the story of me meeting Joe Gatto from Impractical Jokers. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being here. Subscribe, like, comment, share, turn on notifications. Don't know why I said it like this, but I'm having fun. I am gonna make an Instagram page of this channel. I don't know if it will be out when this comes out or not, but just be on the lookout or look in the description if I link it. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.